Welcome to the Uzziah Show. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your business, career, or finances, then this is the show for you. Welcome. Tonight, I'm fired up because we're going to talk about billionaire Ray Dalio predicting the fall of America. That's a bold statement, y'all. And we got to see what he says. For any of y'all that knows how powerful Ray Dalio is, this is groundbreaking news. So make sure that y'all tap into tonight's broadcast. Make sure that y'all smash the like button. For those of you that are joining this show for the very first time, my name is Uzziah. I'm a professional business consultant, and my job is to help you get out of debt so you could start your own business. But are we going to have time to start businesses if America is going under? That's what we're going to talk about on tonight's show, okay? So for those of you guys that are on, please make sure that you leave me a comment. Let me know your name and where you're from so that way I can shout you out. and show you some love. Now, y'all know I don't spend too much time getting into the house rules, okay? We're going straight into this topic. All I'm going to ask is that for those of y'all that love this channel and you want to keep this show going, please make sure that you sponsor this channel by giving a super chat. All you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Let's talk. Who is Ray Dalio? Ray Dalio is one of the most legendary investors of all time. Ray Dalio has been called the Steve Jobs of investing. So I want us to consider the source on some of the information that we're about to be reading. This isn't just coming from some random guy with an opinion. This is coming from someone who predicted the 2008 recession and crash, and someone who has always been sought after for protection in the markets whenever crashes hit America. So now we're going to talk about Ray Dalio's perspective on how he believes that America has headed for a downfall. Is there any way out of it? Where are things going to go in the next 5, 10, 15 years? That's what we're going to find. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, y'all. Shout out to those of y'all that are on tonight's broadcast. Shout out to Ariel. Shout out to Sheer Queen. All right. See y'all in the house. I see y'all. We're going to go ahead and share the screen, y'all. Y'all know I don't waste no time. So this article that I'm sharing with you guys tonight comes directly from Forbes magazine. And in this article, it says, Ray Dalio says America's decline will upend lives, not just portfolios. So I want y'all to see what kind of energy this is starting out with in the first place. It's not just talking about your money getting jacked up. Ray Dalio is predicting that you will get jacked up if you're not careful. So the billionaire investor who built the world's largest hedge fund, sorry, let me read that again. The billionaire investor who built the world's largest hedge fund paints a dire scenario in his new book. Now, his new book deals with changing world order. It's about the principles of a changing world order, and he's talking about how the empires are about to shift. It says, no empire lasts forever, says Ray Dalio. Humble words for a man who's built the world's largest hedge fund with assets in excess of $150 billion. But the billionaire founder of Bridgewater Associates, 72, isn't talking about the empire he created and stepped down from managing as CEO in 2017. Instead, the empire that worries Dalio is the one in which he resides, the United States. So I just want y'all to know I wasn't capping. I wasn't just putting on just for clickbait in the title. Ray Dalio said this. Ray Dalio, a billionaire investor, has gone on record to talk about the prediction of the downfall of the American empire. And I think it's important for us to really see where the market is going so that we don't get caught up in a disaster. Y'all see a lot of things that are happening. Y'all see all of the bubbles that are about to burst. But we're going to go over that further on tonight's broadcast, and you're going to walk away with some very important questions that you need to answer. You're going to walk away from this broadcast tonight knowing a direction forward on what you should do to protect you and your family. Now, it says right now, money and credit and how it's behaving are affecting the financial markets. It's affecting inflation, says Dalio in an interview with Forbes, as U.S. inflation has spiked to its highest rate in over 30 years. Now, for those of y'all that have been on this broadcast before, you'll know that I did a show previously on hyperinflation on the rise. I've been trying to prep y'all about this for a while now. So Don't say that you've been tuning into this broadcast and you didn't know that this was coming. I've been trying to prep y'all by the minute. It says America's domestic issues and decline as the world's leading superpower are more than simply a matter of debate to Dalio. They underpin the core thesis of his latest book, Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order: How and Why Nations Succeed and Fail, that comes out on November 30. In it, he builds the case that the confluence of rising U.S. debt and income disparities, along with America's diminished influence, has put the country at risk of not just economic hardship, but war. Specifically, he points to growing debt and near zero interest rates that have led to a massive printing of money. I told y'all about all that money that was printed over the past 2 years. $16 trillion of debt at negative interest rates this year, by Dalio's estimates, increased conflict and polarization due to widening wealth gaps, and China's increased ability to challenge U.S. hegemony on the world stage. Now, I'm not going to read this entire article. I'm just going to get key points. The next thing that we read in this article says, Dalio believes there's a 30% chance that the U.S. will enter into a major civil war type conflict within the next 5 years. Do y'all understand what that's saying? Ray Dalio, one of the most influential people in the world, predicts that there's going to be a 30% chance that there's going to be an internal battle amongst American citizens on where they stand within this country. There's going to be a civil war between the haves and the have-nots. Once you read further into this article, Dalio talks about how empires often fall whenever there's only a few select among the elite that control all the wealth. Meanwhile, everyone else is pushed to poverty. We can see how this is happening with the annihilation of the middle class. On these shows, I always tell y'all, either you have it or you don't. In the next 5 to 10 years from now, it ain't going to be no middle class. It's either you got to the money or you're without. And there's going to be so many changes happening in society for the years to come. We see everything that's going on with the rise of technology. We see all of the pros and cons with the metaverse. I need y'all commenting on tonight's broadcast, man, because we're really taking it there. And I'm going to put the link right now for y'all to cam up just so I can start getting y'all's feedback, okay, on tonight's show. Now, y'all know I can't move forward without acknowledging the super chats. Shout out to my brother Yasha Allah in the house. Thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate that $20 super chat. All right, appreciate your sponsorship, my brother. Tonight we're talking about billionaire investor Ray Dalio, one of the most powerful investors in the world, predicts that there will be a civil war breaking out in America within the next 5 years. And the question is, are we still going to be asleep as all of this is going on, or are we going to pay attention to the news? Now, Drive by Brian, my brother, man. Let's give a big round of applause and shout out to my brother Brian, man. Shout out to the brother Brian. This brother is a great supporter of this channel, y'all. As y'all can see, Drive by Brian is in the UK, y'all. So y'all gotta definitely commend him for his dedication. We know that it's late in the UK right now, but we're so excited to have you on. Thank you so much, my brother, for sending those £9. Greatly appreciate it, my brother. As you could see, the Uzziah show is international. So please make sure that y'all smash that like button. And if you love this broadcast and the education that we're trying to bring to our culture, please make sure that you donate to the channel, because your sponsorships is what helps keep this show on air. Now, a lot of y'all see tonight's show is very controversial. This kind of broadcast is the type of content that YouTube won't always like. So we need your support and your sponsorship to like, subscribe, share, and donate, so that way we could tell YouTube that this is content that we want to see. Okay, do not allow this content to be censored. I want y'all to know what is going on. So shout out to my sister Ariel. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, y'all. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. For those of y'all that are trying to donate, all you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Or if you like using Cash App or PayPal, the information is on the screen and the links to donate are in the description below. Now, back to the article. Ray Dalio just wrote a book speaking about the planned downfall of the American empire. He's pointed out that all great empires from one time to another have come and gone. Every dog has his day. And as we read in the article, he's talking about how America is up next and how the way that money has been managed in this country is going to be one of the primary reasons why there will be a fall. Dalio believes there's a 30% chance that the U.S. will enter into a major civil war type conflict within the next 5 years. And we could already see brewings of this when we think about everything that happened with the revolt at the White House, when we think about all of the racially motivated problems that we have in America. We see the writing that on the wall, y'all. So it's not that it's something that we can't predict. A lot of people want to stay asleep to what is really happening. And that's the reason why this legendary billionaire is standing out and warning the people about what's to come. It says, while other countries face similar challenges, America looks especially vulnerable. It's very important that we deal with this now, he says. We can have a type of civil war or international war based on how we are behaving with each other and our financial conditions. What's more, the U.S. is not alone in facing this dire scenario. So I want y'all to understand, the U.S. has conflicts, domestic and abroad. And Dalio is saying, with the way that this economy is going, we won't even have to worry about other countries coming for us, because there's things that's going to pop off right here in the States. So as you continue to read on, it's going to give you a little bit more background on Ray Dalio. We're not going to read the entire article, but I'm just going to give y'all some key points. Also, I'm going to put a link for y'all to cam up. I want y'all to dial into tonight's broadcast because I want to get y'all's feedback on this topic. Do y'all feel like America is on the verge of the next big disaster, or do you feel like this is all hocus pocus? Do you feel like it's just nothing but fear mongering? Do you feel, oh man, this ain't nothing real? How do y'all feel about everything that we're going over? Are some of y'all out there saying, oh my God, run, run, run. America's about to fall. Where do you stand on this subject? Leave me your comments. Give me your thoughts, because I want us to have real discussion. So, as I was saying, this book that Ray Dalio that he's coming out with, it's called Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order: How and Why Nations Succeed and Fail. The reason why he's writing this is because he sees the writing on the wall as it relates to America. Okay, we got to understand, y'all, just because an empire is on high at one time, it does not mean that they're going to be on top forever. So I'm going to share with you guys another part of the article. Okay, just hitting on some key points. As I pull up this article, okay, make sure for those of y'all that are just joining, make sure that you smash that like button. Okay, I want y'all to see this article with me in real time. It says, those readers may find the changing world order to be both eye-opening and potentially frustrating. It is more an academic study versus investment playbook. While Dalio inspires readers with his life story and leadership philosophy and principles, his new book raises alarm bells about problems for which there are no clear solutions. So I want y'all to understand Ray Dalio, who fixes problems professionally, especially as it pertains to the economic markets, he's writing on how there are so many problems brewing in America that doesn't have a clear answer. It does not have a clear direction forward. And I think we need to be mentally prepared for this, because if Ray Dalio is letting us know this from his position in the marketplace, how much more should we get prepared as regular folks? Y'all got to remember, Dalio predicted the 2008 crash. Dalio was celebrated as one of the main investors who actually survived financially. A lot of people lost all of their money during that 2008 recession. But now, because of his foresight into the markets, he was able to maneuver around it. There's really key things that I want us to take away from this article. And I want y'all to start to just chime in. Give your thoughts, leave a comment. There's no wrong answer. Let's just keep it, respectful. Watch your language now. Don't put anything too crazy. But I want y'all's feedback on the topic, because I'm going to be going in and out of the article on tonight's broadcast. I'm going to show y'all key points. The chief in the South says the U.S. is soul sick. It is easy to speak about how things may play out if one just focuses on the economy and finances. However, the economy and finances are in disarray because the soul is sick. That reminds me of the Bible when it talks about where the head is sick, the body is sick. And because there are so many problems going on within the country, everything else suffers. You got to think about all of these different bubbles that are happening at once. The student loan bubble, the inflation bubble, prices at its highest point over the last 30 years. We got to think about how there's so many inventory shortages because of distribution problems. Think about everything that popped off over the past couple years with the pandemic. There are so many challenges that don't yet have answers, and it's all compounding at once. And even as so many people complain about the leadership challenges amongst the different presidents, we got to understand we're not headed in a place where the average person will be able to maneuver out of this. That's the reason why Ray Dalio said it's not just your portfolio that's in jeopardy, it's your personal life. For those of y'all that were on this broadcast, when I went over this earlier, at the very top of that Forbes article, the headline was how Ray Dalio warns that American lives will be upended, not just financial portfolios. This is not just a conversation about finances. This is a conversation about the future of the world that we know. And if you guys are not prepared and you're not in on these discussions, some of this stuff is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. Let me show y'all something else out of the article. One of the things that Ray Dalio hints at in the article is how What's going on right now is just like what was going on during the time of World War II. Here, look and see. It says Dalio is as much a student of history as science. As the title suggests, his assessment of the current threats to economic health comes from years of studying the rise and fall of great empires. The US is not the first nation to experience rising debt levels and income inequality while facing diminished power and influence on the world stage. The last time those three things happened was in the 1930 to 1945 period, says Dalio. When they happen together, it's a very telling story. So, y'all history buffs should understand that period from the 1930s throughout the 1940s was the time of World War II. This is the reason why Dalio predicts a very important war to pop off within the next 5 years, because this is the makings of it. Y'all, when we look at what he's talking about right now, rising debt levels, income inequalities, diminished power, it's coming from all angles. Let me tell you the reason why. If you have rising debt levels, then that means that you got a lot of people that you owe. And when you can't pay the people that you owe, conflict arises. Then you find yourself in shortages of things. You're no longer able to stimulate the economy as you once were. When we talk about income inequality, y'all should know this just like anyone else. If y'all don't understand anything else on what this article is saying, every last one of us should know about the difference between the haves and the have-nots. I want to see some comments from y'all. Y'all know when we do these shows, I don't like it to be silent. I don't like, oh, let's just sit back and watch Uzziah talk for the next hour. Nah, I want y'all to cam up. I want y'all to comment. I want y'all to be very involved, because this affects you just like the rest of us. When we talk about income inequality, you cannot build a thriving empire where only a few people are well off. If hyperinflation rises to such a point where basic goods are hard to get, is going to create a civil war where you're going to have a lot of have-nots uprising against the haves. You cannot allow people to be broke on dire levels. Listen, y'all, I want you to understand the truth about how America runs. Y'all ready for this? This is real talk tonight. I'm giving y'all the format on how this country actually operates from an economic perspective. This society was not built for everybody to win. It was only intended for a select few. Now, there are many opportunities in this country for a lot of us to win, but that doesn't mean that everyone will take advantage of it. So, you're going to have a lot of people among the middle class that are going to get down to lower levels. They're not going to be able to keep up with the rising housing prices, the rising cost of tuition, the rising cost of day-to-day expenses like food and clothing. And as a result, they're going to be pushed out of their current lifestyle. When that happens, there's going to be more of an uproar. You're going to have a select few people in this world that have comfort and lifestyle. They've got the bag. But then you're going to have a large portion of the masses of people that will go without. And when people stop being able to provide for their families, this turns into crime and other offenses. For any of y'all that have been in the hood, this is not rocket science. When you don't have an easy way to provide for your family, this is how people start getting robbed, shot, and killed. All of this is being forecasted. And when Dalio talks about diminished power and influence on the world stage, these nations not caring about America as much as they once were during America's prime. What I mean by that is, at one point, America was such a dominant superpower that everybody had to get down and lay down. Now, China is saying to hell with that. Russia is saying, nah, y'all not going to pounce on us like this. North Korea is saying, try it if you want to. Act like you want to take it to war. You've got all these different countries now not marching to the beat of America's drum. You have different countries and continents all around the world that are trying to set up their own infrastructure. And because America does not have the exact same pull as we suffer with our own US currency, this is the reason why America becomes more prone to attack. But the problem is the attack isn't just vulnerable from the outside. We also run the risk of having attacks from within. People not being able to provide food on the table, they're going to be pissed off. Look at how many people lost jobs at the start of the pandemic. Millions of jobs. Look at what's going on right now with the Great Recession, a lot of the Great Resignation. A lot of people not wanting to go back to work because they don't want to find themselves subject to the same system that really doesn't care about their life. When after this pandemic popped off, they recognized what was most important. Y'all got to see the world turning. You've got to understand we're shifting from an era of brick and mortar to digital. And because we're in a digital landscape, it opens the playing field for more countries to compete. And a lot of people are not even bought into America being the place where everybody wants to spend the rest of their life. You now have a lot of people that's considering relocating all around the world. Okay. So I'm going to start reading some of these comments. Rick Judah, shout out to my brother Rick Judah, man. I've been thinking about you, my brother. It's good to see you on. Shout out to the brother Rick Judah. For those of y'all that are just getting on tonight, we're talking about how billionaire Ray Dalio predicts the downfall of America. We went through an article where he was interviewed by Forbes about his upcoming book, where he talks about all of the reasons why America is going to lose its dominance. Rick Judah says that's how all of the European revolutions started. See, if you don't know your history, you're going to be bound to repeat it. There's no new thing under the sun, y'all. And that's the reason why Dalio said every empire had their time. Egypt had their time under Pharaoh, King Tut, and all of those guys. The Greeks had their time under Alexander. We got to understand, man, America has had a solid run. And Dalio is warning, if America does not get certain things together right now, this whole thing is about to be tossed up under the rug. Okay, so y'all heard it here first. Yasha Allah said survival skills will be necessary to maneuver. Yasha Allah, I see you in the waiting room, King. I'm going to patch you in due time. Just going to get through all of this content. Make sure that y'all comment and like, okay? Make sure that y'all donate to keep this broadcast going. If YouTube don't have this show on air for long, y'all know why. Make sure that y'all sponsor the broadcast so that way we have other methods of being able to push this content out. Kim McGrory says, the war between the haves and have-nots has escalated in the last 10 years. Absolutely. You know, we understand that America is designed under capitalism. So not everybody is meant to win. However, things are only getting more and more intense as the days goes by. A lot of people are out of jobs due to the pandemic. A lot of jobs have been outsourced overseas. A lot of people's professions have now been automated by machines. And we got to see the competitive nature of this life is going to bring on more hunger, more crime, more education inequality. The signs are clear. Shout out to Kim. Kim said that. Okay, I'm just reading y'all's comments right now. So whatever it is that y'all got to say on this topic, I want to hear it. And for those of y'all that want to cam up and talk more about this, feel free to cam up. If y'all are out there like, oh, you know what? This is just all a lie. This will blow over. America's going to last forever. Okay. Leave your comment and state your piece. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but I understand both from history as well as reading the Bible that all of these Gentile empires eventually close. We read throughout history about how every kingdom thought that they was just the greatest thing on the face of the earth, and they all fail. There's no new thing under the sun. The question is, how much longer will America be around? Chief in the South says, the haves will almost be untouchable by the have-nots, simply because we will not have access to them. Therefore, the average people will feed on each other. Now, that's a heavy statement, because in my next move, I'm planning on relocating in such a way where I'm not trying to be around the masses. I know it's about to pop off. So you think that when things pop off, you think I want to be in a major city amongst millions of people? I'm saying when millions of people can't get food from the grocery stores, do you really think that I want to be amongst a heavy population? Do you think that I want my wife and my kid to be around when, there's all of these different economic shortages? Hyperinflation is through the roof. We got to understand, y'all. There are seasons that come throughout any empire. And there are times in America of economic booms. There's a lot of opportunities here right now. But I want y'all to understand that for those of y'all that are not seizing every opportunity to do better for yourself and your family, just know within the next 5 years, that's coming to haunt you. We're looking at a student loan bubble. We're looking at a housing crisis. The freaking housing crisis is insane. Prices are astronomical. Average person can't even buy a house anymore. These are things that we must consider, okay? And reading some other comments, Chief in the South says, the U.S. has almost everything that we need to be self-sufficient, yet we are so accustomed to acquiring the comforts of imports that we have forgotten the skill sets to thrive without the imports. I mean, there's so many imports that are going on, and there's so many outsourcing that's taking place. There's a lot of people that's without jobs in America, and I'm telling you, that number is only going to get worse by the day. Okay, can I tell y'all something? Let me say something on the flip side of this. 1,700 millionaires are created in America every single day. I want you to process that and realize that there is massive opportunity in the midst of chaos. Every single day, somebody else is leveling up. The question is, why not you? I'm not saying everybody is going to find themselves suffering within the next year's time. Only the Lord knows what's about to pop off, right? But what I am saying is, when we think about how this economy operates, it is not built to sustain a middle class. The middle class, as we know it, is going away. This is no longer the country where you could be an average person with an average job, and then buy a lovely house with a white picket fence. This is no longer the country where you could work at a job for 20 years and retire with a pension plan. People that are my age, we're not going to be seeing Social Security. We're not going to be seeing a pension. You're going to have to find other ways to survive. And that's the reason why I did a show last week talking about most people will never retire, because statistics show that even for people that retire with $1 million in their bank account, can only live off of $30,000 a year portioned out throughout the lifetime of their retirement. If the average person may see retirement years from 60 to 90 years old, that means you got to take $1 million and you got to portion it out over 30 years' time. Many of us are not prepared for what's to come, and that's the reason why a lot of people are going to get caught off guard. So I'm not trying to tell y'all, hey, just pack it up, everybody is done. I'm trying to tell y'all, get educated, stay woke, understand what is about to happen, because you can see it happening right now. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Listen, y'all, can we get some super chats going? It's been almost 30 minutes since the last super chat came through, okay? We got a lot of people on. We got a lot of comments rolling. Please give back to the channel to help keep the channel online. If you all have gotten value from this broadcast, among other shows that I do day by day, please sponsor this channel by tapping the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Whoever provides the top donation will be the official sponsor for tonight's broadcast. Let's go get back real quick to some of the major points from the article, and then I'm going to open the floor for feedback. I'm going to have y'all cam up and give me some more of your insights on everything that we're reading, okay? For those of y'all that are just now joining, make sure that you smash that like button, okay? Make sure that y'all share this with a friend, because this is not content that we talk about every day, okay? So as I put this back on the screen, I want y'all to see Ray Dalio is saying, Dalio hopes astute leaders and citizens can take action to stave off the worst outcome. The issues, after all, have been percolating for years. It's high time we actually look at these things and take the warnings and deal with it, he says. Now, see, this is the reason why, for those of us that are in the spiritual arena, we always talk about wars and rumors of wars. We always talk about following the Most High's commandments, because we know that this life is short. I know that this is a business channel, so I mostly speak economically, but y'all always got to plan for this life and the next. How prepared are you? If something happens, y'all saw how much everybody was freaked out about toilet paper a year and a half ago. What happens where there are more essential goods that you're no longer able to get? These are all things that we got to consider. See, a lot of us, we've been made so dependent on society that all we expect is a handout. We never think, oh man, I got to make certain preparations for myself. Some of y'all are thinking, oh, well, if it really pops off like that, Biden's going to tell me. Biden didn't tell y'all that we were about to enter into hyperinflation. I've been telling y'all that. Y'all don't understand. There's a lot of things that society won't say, because they're not trying to spark mass hysteria amongst the people. They're not trying to change certain behaviors, especially coming off of the midst of a lockdown. So we got to think about how, just because people are in certain positions, it don't mean that they're always going to tell y'all the real. But since we're getting back on this discussion economically, I'm going to show y'all what Ray Dalio said about how to survive the times. If you're looking to weather the storm financially, Dalio says one piece of advice on the safest hedge against what's coming, not cash, he exclaims. In early 2020, Dalio caused a stir in Davos by saying cash is trash as people were pulling out of markets amid concerns that included a then new, y'all know what, can't say certain words, YouTube be tripping. Dalio's argument then, as now, was to diversify across different asset classes, currencies, and markets. Betting big on one or two things is rarely a winning strategy. Now, for those of y'all that are regulars on this broadcast, y'all already know about this from top to bottom. This is nothing new if y'all have been tuned into my channel over this past year, because all I've been doing is talking about hyperinflation on the way and how you need to be diversified across different asset classes like real estate, like stocks, like gold, and so on. We talked about cryptocurrency. I was showing you guys how to get started. I want y'all to be protected on all fronts. This is not just a financial war. Understand that civil war might mean you might not be able to always get everything that you want from the grocery store. Are you making preparations in your house to stock up on goods like essential foods, water? You know, if you were not able to have just certain amenities for a week or two, would you be able to handle it? Some of us, we've become so dependent on the American dream that if grocery stores took a massive loss for 1 week, a lot of us would be SOL. We'd be up the creek without a paddle. And we don't even need to talk about financially, because the average American does not have enough money in their savings account to last them 1 month if they got laid off. So there's a lot of risk and a lot of liability. Dalio says, I worry too many Bitcoin holders, crypto, they better be right that it's Bitcoin and it's not something else. What you're seeing is in all assets, you're seeing it in real estate, stocks, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and so on. From all of that economic stimulation, they have all gone up, he says. Okay, I'm gonna hip y'all to what we talking about. See, on this broadcast, I like to take a lot of advanced concepts that can go over people's heads and break it down so that way a third grader can understand it. Y'all remember how the US printed over $6 trillion during the pandemic, right? Y'all remember how all that stimulus money was given out? What a lot of people did with that money was spend and invest it. So the economy was stimulated when all of this money was put out in the marketplace. The problem is the economy was artificially pumped. Y'all know how sometimes loser type guys have a blow up doll in their house? Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's a fake me out of the real thing, but that's what America did. America printed out so much money over the past 2 years that all of the dollars that are in circulation today, 50% of every dollar that's in circulation is based upon the dollars that were printed over the past 2 years. I'm talking about over the course of American history. All of the money that is being circulated from the beginning of American history, 50% of every dollar comes off of the artificial pumping of the economy of the last 2 years. What Dalio is saying is America lifted all this up, but it's all going to come down. because it was not a real, it wasn't a real jolt in the economy. It wasn't like, oh, okay, well, just the American people did this. No, America printed off money. The people did with the money what, America wanted them to do. But the consequences of all of that money being printed out is massive inflation. And now you've got all these markets where all these different currencies are highly valued. And then the market is going to have a correction where it says, no, 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 no. You thought this stock was this much, but it's actually worth this much. We was just saying it was that much because everybody was spending their money. Oh, you know how all these real estate prices are going up? Okay, cool. We'll issue out more loans so everybody can buy a house. Fannie Mae is talking about, having bigger loans next year. But the problem is when people cannot afford it, what are the consequences? There has to be a downside of all of that money being printed, guys. And we just got to be able to see it, because if you're not prepared, you could be thrown off course. I'm not going to beat the dead horse on this. All I'm trying to do is give y'all what top investors are saying. Ray Dalio is saying everything that I've been saying to y'all for months. So y'all should know that you're in the right place. Let me check out these comments. Shout out to my brother Roy, y'all. My brother Roy in the house showing love. Thank you so much for the super chat, my brother. One of the top sponsors of the Uzziah show. Okay. Thank you to all of the sponsors. I love y'all. Thank you for holding me down. I give y'all my blood, sweat, and tears, man. I give y'all my time and my energy. We do these shows 6 days a week, just so that way you can walk away as an educated consumer. You can walk away as an educated human being, so you know how to make wise decisions in this life. Okay. So if y'all love what this broadcast is talking about and y'all want to see more, please make sure that you smash that like button. And please make sure that y'all donate to keep this show going. Yeah, sure, Queen. You know that you like that blow up dog comment. Kim McGrory says, I just had that same conversation with a friend last night. Some have no emergency fund, no savings, no investments, no food in the cupboard, no gas in the tank, borrowing money every other month. A lot of y'all don't see what's coming, man. And I just feel bad for some people, because some of us won't learn until it gets worse. And then we're going to be crying for help. And see, this is the reason why you have to study history. You have to study, well, what happened with those other empires? What happened during the Roman Empire? What happened during the Greek Empire? What happened during the Persian Empire? How was it that all these empires had all this great wealth, but then they all went under? We're experiencing some of those same problems today. It's the making of a perfect storm. Whenever you build an empire where 1% of people are at the top and 99% of people are being pushed down to the bottom, it's going to create a revolt that will not keep the economy in place. So as we bring this thing to a close, I'm about to get cam up going. I'm about to put some of y'all on camera for some of those of y'all that want to cam up. As we get ready to, reflect on this in closing, here are some questions that I want you to answer. Question number one: as this is going on, are you going to stay asleep, or do you see the writing on the wall? Are you going to walk away from this broadcast and say, you know what? That was just clickbait. This was just a bunch of shock value. It's nothing behind this. The American economy is booming. Everybody's got jobs. Nobody is suffering. If they are, it's because they're lazy. Are you still going to stay asleep after this broadcast? Or do you see the writing on the wall? Do you see these things happening? When you go to your grocery store, is everything populated like it used to be? When you go to the gas station, is it the same price that you've been used to earlier in the year? Or has the prices gone up enough to raise an eyebrow? Are you staying asleep to what's going on, or are you seeing the writing on the wall? Okay. Are you seeing how housing prices are astronomical? I'm telling y'all, I don't know why the hell I'm in the midst of investing in real estate right now, because, oh my God, it is a nightmare to get in this market. I don't want no parts of this market no more. They've been killing your boy. They've been bleeding me out, y'all. Pray for me. But are y'all going to stay asleep? Are you considering other places to relocate? Because I've worked with some of my staff in the past. I've had assistants who worked out in Paris. You know, some of my top staff that I've had over the past 12 months were ladies that were located in Europe. And I'm talking about ladies that live in Europe that were born in America. They were born and raised in America, went to college in America, but they left America predicting how hard the economy would be. They would be telling me stories, man, you know, you got to move. You go to some of these other places, man, your dollar goes that much further. I remember, you know, me growing up in Los Angeles, I came and I moved to Texas thinking I could stretch my dollar far. But here now in 2021, I'm like, damn, Texas is becoming a new California. I'm making offers on certain properties at certain prices. I remember when I came to Texas about 15 plus years ago, I remember if you had $200,000 to put down towards some property, oh man, you would have been a big shot in Texas. You would have been a high roller. You'd have been living high off the hog. But $200,000 in Austin is not going to get you a cardboard box. You are not going to get nothing at no 200K now, because everybody is moving from California and they're jacking up the prices. I know, Texans, y'all got to forgive us. Don't throw me in that category, okay? Because I came long before a lot of these other LA folks came. If y'all know my story, I got here real early, back when being in Texas wasn't cool. So I just want y'all to see a lot of people that are living in America are actually thinking about relocating out of America. People are talking about going to Europe. I know different families, Black families even, that have moved to Portugal. I know some brothers right now that are moving to Africa. And I'm telling y'all, man, if I put the kind of money into property in Africa that I'm putting down here in America, oh my God, I'd be the king of Zamunda. Like the things that brothers are able to get in Africa for a relatively low price. I'm seeing brothers 2, 3, 4-story mansions. It's crazy. And so, again, this is the reason why Ray Dalio is talking about how America is losing its power and its influence. Not everybody is going to continue to drink the Kool-Aid. If you're able to look on social media, people traveling to all these other different countries, and they're able to do more with less. I know some guys that are in my industry that have relocated to South America, Puerto Rico, Panama, all kinds of different places, man. There was one point in time in our lives where America was the place to be. But now, as we get older, the world is coming to understand that things are becoming a lot more diverse. Not everybody is still convinced that America is for everybody. And a lot of Americans are trying to get out of America to look for better opportunities and higher quality of living. So my question is this: which side are you going to be on when things go south? If there is a civil war that Ray Dalio predicts will happen within the next 5 years, he said that there's a 30% chance. If or when that civil war happens, which side are you going to be on when ish hits the fan? Are you going to be on the side of the haves, The top 1% of people who actually have the money to be able to provide for you and your family and furnish a comfortable quality state of living? Or are you going to be among the 95 to 99% of people who are going to revolt all because they can't afford basic food? They can't afford gas. They've lost jobs and are out of work. Which side are you going to be on? Because economists predict that the Civil War is coming. But the question is, how does that impact us? How does that impact your family? What will these streets look like once things get worse? Y'all see all these different variants popping off. Listen, y'all, I know some of y'all won't hear me on this. This is just the start of that. This is just phase one. You see how many problems have popped off just by the start of these things happening, okay? And Bill Gates has already told you about how there would just be a growing phenomenon of things like that to come in future years. So don't be surprised, because even with everything that's happened right now, and I'm being careful on my words because I don't want YouTube to pull the plug on me. With what we've experienced over the past 2 years, the survival rate among what happened has still been very high. What happens if there are other strains of things that comes to the US where the survival rate is not as high? What are you going to do? These are the questions that you got to ask yourself, guys. And lastly, what are you going to do to protect you and your family from what's to come? If there are shortages, are you prepared? If there are civil wars, are you ready? What are you going to do if there is a crisis that comes in the next 5 years? There are business owners, investors, political leaders that understand where things are going. And all roads are pointing in one direction, but I pray for peace and safety for all of us. Okay. So listen, y'all. I pray that y'all got something good from this broadcast. Yashala, what you got for us tonight, sir?
Hey, shalom, big brother. Shalom. You're right, because survival skills is going to be needed to maneuver. And a lot of people understand that. I've been knew that a long time ago. They have no clue what's going to go on. There was a movie, a series on Netflix, 2016, called The Colony. You can find it, watch it. And they knew about survival, same thing. They were doing tests years ago. And these groups knew they was being tested. And a lot of them couldn't take it. They just couldn't take it. They put them through all those scenarios like you said. The food, how to trade. Because cash ain't going to be nothing when it comes to that. It's going to be trading, gold, or something. But the cash ain't going to be nothing. You got to have trading skills. You got to do something. And today, our people don't know how to fish. Right. They don't want to touch a lot of fish. I mean, really?
Don't know how to hunt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't know how to hunt. Don't know how to gut a chicken. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And everybody think that. I said, what would you do without toilet paper? I mean, hey, people, toilet paper is a new idea. It only came around in the 1900s. Right. Only the rich had it. all that stuff you see in the movies and Western days, no toilet paper. Sorry, it wasn't happening.
Everybody bougie now. Everybody think that toilet paper's always been here, and everybody, even with the foods that we eat and the diet that we have, we're so used to having like this humongous portion diet that we don't realize that even something as simple as being able to eat meats, that was something that 100 years ago, that was only for the rich. You couldn't be no poor man or no average man eating on no meats, knowing nothing about no steak. But we've become so coddled here in America that we don't think that this place will ever fall. We don't think that there's ever going to be hard times. This is why a lot of people got caught off guard whenever, that toilet paper fiasco popped off. But it's like a lot more people, after getting caught off guard there, they're starting to wake up and say, oh man, you know what? That did happen. I did go to the grocery store and the freaking line was wrapped around the block outside the grocery store. A lot of people was trying to order stuff off of Amazon and they were like, damn, Amazon is out of stock on everything. Why Amazon ain't doing, same day shipping no more, 1 day shipping no more? Why they not doing all this? We don't understand, man. It's like we are so conditioned in this society to get used to one mode that if the mode ever changes, we're like a fish out of water. And I'm just trying to put us on, because if that mode ever shifts, you better be prepared.
And you're true about that. Because I got one other daughter left, and I make sure she's prepared in the Philippines. She didn't worry about the thing that happened. You know what I'm saying? The crisis we had. Because I sent her a year's supply, especially you women here, of menstrual pads. I sent her a year's supply, period. Because, females,
Whoa
man.
there, whoa there.
So, you know what I mean? You don't think like that. You know what I'm saying?
Plus, shout out to Brother Yasha Allah for sending a year's supply of menstrual pads, yo. Shout out to Yasha Allah.
Don't women get mean and nasty. You sisters are this. Hey, I don't mess around. But they don't think like that. Okay, yes, what else besides menstrual pads? I know other things I sent too, so she can have that supply. You know what I mean? Like here, you couldn't get Tylenol for 3 months here one time in Savannah.
Wow.
You couldn't find it nowhere. Extra strength, that was gone.
Yeah.
People are not stocking up for the future. They're still having a good time. They're still partying. I'm like, really?
I want to touch on one thing that Ariel just said, one of our top sponsors. She said, one of my biggest goals is to get a farm. Now, a lot of us, we are so accustomed to just living that city life. We don't know how to run a farm. We don't know nothing about taking care of no livestock and being able to live off the land. Like, a lot of us wouldn't know the first thing about how to do things off the grid. And I'm telling y'all, with the way that housing is going up, listen to me, y'all, housing. I literally just spent the past month driving all throughout Central Texas. You cannot get a decent place in Central Texas with 1 acre or more without putting up at least $500,000. And I'm telling you, back in the day, Yasha Allah, when I first came to Texas, if you had $200,000 to $300,000 to put up on a property, oh man, you was the HNIC. You would be able to call your own shots. I mean, there's still like little things here and there, but stuff be worn down. You're going to have to go out a lot more rural and countryside. You're going to have to get a lot more in West Texas. I'm telling you, man, a lot of people, they came to Texas, the prices done shot up, and it's not what it used to be. Shout out to Texas. Still got love for Texas. But I'm just telling y'all, Texas, y'all, listen, man, Texas right now, we on some other stuff. So, again, this is another reason why they talk about the Civil War popping off, because you got a lot of Texans that's pissed off with people coming from California and New York and Miami. Like, yo, y'all are messing up this good thing we used to have. Real quick, let me give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Y'all know I got to give a big round of applause to our sister, LA for Life. Thank you so much for the $25 sponsorship, my sister. For those of y'all that are enjoying tonight's broadcast, please tap the dollar icon, y'all. All right, we only on here, but for so much more longer, y'all know we got another YouTube channel. I'm the leader of True Spirit of Christ Church. They're putting down a phenomenal broadcast right now that we need to be on, so I'm about to shift gears and hop out of here. But real quick, my brother Yasha Allah, I'm going to shout out also Nicole P. Good to see you, Nicole P. Shout out to Nicole P, y'all. Shout out to Nicole P. Shout out to the House of Roy the Chef, y'all. Shout out to the young God, man. Nicole P, reach out to your husband. Tell that brother I miss him, man. Tell that brother I miss him. I'm still doing my thing, man. I'm over here trying to get my life together, man. So much love to the House of Roy the Chef. For those of y'all that are on, please make sure you smash that like button, all right? Let's keep the sponsorships going. It looks like LA for Life might have just took the spot, the title right now for the official sponsor for tonight's broadcast. So whoever's donates above $25, that's who will get the official sponsor slot for tonight's broadcast. All right. All you got to do is tap that dollar icon below. If y'all super chatted me, not super chatted, if y'all cash at me, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you cashed at me. If you sent me something on PayPal, leave a comment below so that way I can give you a shout out. Any last words, my brother, as we're still on?
Yes. Watch Colony. Also watch Doomsday Preppers. And put yourself in that predicament. Because it's going to be hard. That's the way it is. Because real quick, remember, I think it was last year when when y'all had that snowstorm?
Yes, sir.
And your power was out. I'm on emergency relief, so I had to go. People was out of food within 3 days. I'm like, really? 3 days? They were about to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't live like that. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
You should never want that. You should never want that for your family.
Even when that snowstorm hit here in Austin, a lot of people wasn't prepared. A lot of people, they were stuck, man. I'm telling you, it'll just be little simple things. We don't even need to be no other country bombing or doing something like that. Just something as simple as a little snow coming in an unusual place will put everybody on lock. And so I just want us to think into the future, y'all. Y'all know whenever we talk about leveling up to become the best version of yourself, it's always about preparation. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And if you want to become the very best version of yourself and reach your goals of creating generational wealth, you have to plan for the future. Stop getting so caught up in what happens today and be able to see things down the line. And I'm just telling y'all, Ray Dalio ain't God. But if you've got top billionaire investors telling you, yo, this thing is about to go left, maybe they have access to certain knowledge that you don't see about the marketplace. Okay. So let's just stay prepared, y'all, and let's just continue to pray for each other, support each other. I'm trying to do all I can to help y'all and educate each other. And I hope y'all are praying for me. That's why I tell y'all, keep this show on air, keep the donations going, because as much as God gives me the opportunity to help the people, that's what I'm going to do. Drive by Brian from the UK. He's one of our top sponsors, Yasha Allah. The brother's usually never able to catch on live because he's all the way in the UK right now, but he's showing us some love, man. Big shout out to that brother. Brian said he's loving your energy, man. So, Brian, this is Yasha Allah every day, man. The brother is an incredible brother, an amazing brother. Make sure that y'all continue to tune into these broadcasts. If y'all like tonight's show, check out tomorrow's show. Tell them, Yasha Allah, we do this every day. To some of y'all that are getting on tonight's show, y'all like, oh my God, wow, this is really something. We do this every day. We do this show from Sunday through Friday between 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Somewhere around there, the show begins. And as we go into the broadcast, it's all about helping you level up to protect your family and build a legacy. Yasha Allah, thank you so much for being on, sir. I got to cut out of here, man. Definitely want to give some space for midweek meditations. Lord willing, I'll see you on tomorrow's broadcast. Thank you so much for all the support, as always, my brother.
Welcome, my brother.
All right, now. So, y'all, listen, man. This was a very important episode. Make sure that y'all go back and watch this show if you're just coming in right now. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio predicts the downfall of America. And if we are not paying attention to the signs and preparing ourselves accordingly, we're going to be in for a world of trouble. Here's what I'm going to do for y'all right now, though. I'm going to give y'all these 2 free stocks so that way y'all can sign up and get your investments going. For those of y'all that are looking to diversify, Webull gives you the opportunity to diversify into 2 free stocks, into 2 stocks for free. They're giving you paid stocks out for free. Okay. So make sure y'all check that out. One of the amazing things about Webull is that you can invest not only in stocks, but also cryptocurrency. Webull is one of the fastest growing financial brokerage companies in the world. All you have to do is set up an account, and they are giving away these 2 free stocks just because y'all are a part of the Uzziah Show. The Uzziah Show is sponsored by Webull. So if y'all want it, you got it. Just click the link, and there it is. Listen, man, for any of y'all that are trying to get with me privately, make sure that y'all book y'all sessions for your one-on-one consultations. Okay. All of my slots, for the most part, have filled up. I only got one more slot available on the calendar right now for this Sunday. So if y'all are really about that life and y'all are trying to get me booked on a session, tap the link below. Okay. Tap the link below, book a session, and then we'll get this thing going, y'all. All right. Please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure that when you subscribe that you turn on the notification bell so that you can receive an alert every time I do another show. Again, I do these shows 6 days a week just to be able to help you guys get to the next level in your personal life. I want to take a quick moment to shout out all the sponsors. Shout out to my brother Roy, Lyra Texan the Israelite. Much love to you, my brother. Thank you as always, King. Shout out to Ariel for the $10 super chat. Shout out to my brother Brian coming through with the £9 international money. Okay. Shout out to my brother Yasha Allah. Y'all know the brother Yasha Allah loves to hold it down, y'all. However, it looks like the official sponsor of tonight's broadcast is LA for Life. Right now, Yasha Allah, it looks like LA for Life is holding down that top spot with a $25 super chat. So let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you, LA for Life. Love you, my sister. Thank you so much for supporting the broadcast. And thank you to all of the sponsors for making it possible for everyone else to tune in. Listen, y'all, I would not be able to do this show 6 days a week, investing this amount of time and energy, if it wasn't for y'all showing support. Okay. So when I tell y'all that I love y'all and I need y'all sponsorship, I mean just that. Okay. Whatever y'all are able to do for the broadcast is much appreciated. And even if all you're able to do is just smash that like button, it goes a very long way. Okay. Let's stay prepared, y'all. Let's stay informed. I'm going to do my part. Y'all do yours. Make sure that y'all share this show with somebody in your family. Make sure that you share this broadcast with your family and friends. That way they can get prepared also. Okay. I love y'all. Be safe, be prepared, and stay focused. All right. I'll see y'all on the next episode tomorrow night, Lord willing. Until then, keep pushing.